Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here, as you guys can see up on the screen. Today I want to talk a little bit about Zven, because obviously, I know, spoiler alert, whatever, Cloud9 lost to Team Liquid this past weekend. It's 2 days after, get over it, whatever. I know people are still going to get mad, whatever. Team Liquid beat Cloud9, and Cloud9 is now in a very, very tough spot. So the rest of this season is going to be very, very interesting for Zven. He has been good for Cloud9. He was very good in spring. He was pretty good in summer, maybe not quite as good as he was in spring, but overall, throughout his entire career, he is very, very consistent. He has every once in a while these moments of throws, and he almost had one of them in the game Cloud9 won against Team Liquid. You know, he likes to live on the edge. He's a little bit scary, but overall, he's very, very good. But again, the rest of the playoffs are going to be interesting for him, but also in this video today, we're going to be talking about what the offseason could have in store as well, which could be even more interesting. But we have a couple different options, a couple different things I'm thinking that we're going to be talking about. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy this video. I would appreciate it so much. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. And consider checking out my Patreon, patreon.com/IamGerm. We actually recorded my first podcast episode yesterday. It ended up being like a 40-minute episode. It's going to be live streamed on YouTube every single Monday, and the VODs are going to go out on Patreon. So definitely check that out if that sounds interesting to you. And thank you for everyone who dropped by yesterday. It ended up being really, really dope. With that being said, here we go, getting right into this. So, again, Zven and Cloud9, they are now in a tough spot. This is what the playoff bracket is looking like. They got 3-1'd by Team Liquid. It was not ideal. The series was not very close. Cloud9 ended up winning a game past 40 minutes, and they lost 3 games all pre-30 minutes. Team Liquid's wins were very, very dominant, and they looked really, really good. And this leaves Zven in a weird spot. It leaves Cloud9 in a weird spot now to qualify for Worlds. They have to beat Golden Guardians. You know, I don't think that should be too bad. Then they're going to have to beat whoever loses between 100 Thieves and Evil Geniuses. And that's going to be a very, very tough matchup. No matter who it is, whether it's 100 Thieves or Evil Geniuses, that is going to be a team that finished above Cloud9 in the entire regular season, spring and summer put together. But not only that, it's going to be a team that had a better record than them just in the summer split as well, which is obviously more recent, which is going to be a scary series. Now, do I think Cloud9 can beat Evil Geniuses? Do I think Cloud9 can beat 100 Thieves? Yes. Are they going to be the favorites in that series? I don't know. I'm sure the analysts will have them as the favorites, but I don't know if they actually deserve to be the favorites. Just like the analysts had them as favorites against Team Liquid, but if you guys watched my video when I predicted, I took Team Liquid because Team Liquid and Cloud9 both struggled in the summer split. They both did not look very good at times. But Team Liquid had some roster changes. Team Liquid played a majority of the season without their full roster, full lineup. Cloud9, yes, they had the King and Zven stuff going on at the beginning of the year, but eventually Zven came back pretty quickly, and then they had their full team. They had much less excuses. They just played bad. Blabber did worse than in Spring Split. Perks did worse than in Spring Split. Pretty much everyone except for Fudge was a worse version of themselves in summer than in spring. So Cloud9 wasn't looking that good. So I haven't been that impressed with them. To me, they might be the 5th best team out of the top 5. They might be the 4th best team out of the top 5. I could definitely see them not going to Worlds. And if they don't go to Worlds, because they'll have to win that game, and then they'll have to beat the loser of TSM Team Liquid as well. That won't be easy. And if they don't make it to Worlds, they could definitely be making some lineup changes because, again, this team is spending millions of dollars on this roster. Things are going to get crazy. And we already got a little bit of a sneak peek of maybe what Cloud9 wants to do. We already saw them sub out Zven. We already saw them put in King. Now, the team struggled without Zven. Was it because Zven was gone? Was it because King was not as good as Zven or worse than him or whatever? I don't think so. I think Blabber was playing worse. I think Perks was playing worse. I think Vulcan was playing worse. Was King a step down from Zven? Yes, but the thing is, King is a resident and Zven is an import. I think it is unlikely that Zven will get his green card in this offseason. So if Cloud9 wants to make changes, if they want to make upgrades in this hypothetical world where they didn't make it to Worlds last year and they don't make it to Worlds this year, a team spending millions of dollars on their roster is going to want to go to Worlds. They are going to make changes. They are not going to run back the same roster. They are not going to run back, the main core of Blabber, Vulcan, and Zven, who have now failed them 2 times in a row in the summer split, despite showing a ton of insane, talent, promise, whatever, in back-to-back spring splits. Because yes, the championships are nice. Cloud9, they hadn't won a ton of championships in recent memory. They got that spring split in 2020. They got the spring split in 2021. That's awesome. But again, at the end of the day, Worlds is the biggest prize in League of Legends. Yes, you want to win championships, and teams that haven't won championships, that's a huge goal. That's a huge, mountain to climb, a huge thing to overcome. But now they've done it. They got a championship last year. They got a championship this year. At this point, I know for a fact Cloud9 would trade doing well at Worlds for winning another championship. That's just how it is. So if this core can't do it, they could definitely move on from them. And I start looking at the LCS, and I'm thinking, if Cloud9 decides to get rid of Zven, put back in King, or any other Resident AD carry, but I think it would have to be King, where would Zven go? And would he return to TSM? It's possible. It is possible, but I think it's unlikely. I don't think he's going to end up back on the team he was before. He's not going 100 Thieves. They have FBI. He's not going to Evil Geniuses. They're building around Danny. He's on Cloud9. Team Liquid could be possible, and that's what's crazy. Yes, Core JJ is going to be getting his green card. They're going to have an import slot open. They could run back Santorin in the jungle. He's looking pretty good. He just had a pretty damn good series against Cloud9. And if they bring Zven in for tactical, I think that would be an upgrade. I think that would be interesting. But if it's not Team Liquid, then I think NA becomes very unlikely. And I honestly don't even know how likely Team Liquid is, but it would be interesting. Then we start looking at Europe, where could he make a return back to Europe? You have some of the bottom teams like Astralis, Excel. I don't really see that happening. Fnatic is building around Upset. He's been a beast. G2 has Reckless. He's not going to go there. And then I get to Mad Lions, and the more I think about it, the more interesting and the more exciting this would be. Mad Lions is obviously already very good. Humanoid Elyoya, that is one of the best mid-jungle duos in Europe. Those are two insane players, and I really think, like the heart, soul, and team of Mad Lions. I think Kaiser is a huge part of that as well, but I think Arma and Karzi are actually very, very replaceable. Now, Karzi at his best is disgusting. This guy is very, very good, but my problem with him is that he is not always at his best, and the big thing here is that he is also a free agent in this upcoming offseason. As you can see here, his contract does expire in 2021. So could Mad Lions maybe be looking out for another AD carry? It's possible. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if Kaiser's going to stay or go. I don't know if Karzi's going to stay or go. But all of a sudden, Zven getting to go back to Europe, getting to play on a top team, getting to play on a team with a ton of talent potential, it could happen. I don't know. I think Zven could still be a top 80 carry in Europe. He's been a top 80 carry in North America. He was a top 80 carry in Europe before. I think it would be interesting. The other team that I think could make a little bit of sense, I thought maybe Vitality, but I think that's unlikely. I don't see why they would move on from Crownshot. The other team is going to be Schalke, obviously turning into Team BDS. They are coming in with a bunch of money. It seems like they're coming in ready to spend a bunch of money. They're going to need to get a bunch of good players. Could Zven return home to Europe? Could he play on Team BDS? Could he be one of the players that they build their new roster around? It could happen. I think it's possible. It would at least be one of, at least in my mind, one of the more likely possibilities. Because at this point in his career, Zven is still a top 80 carry. He's one of the best 80 carries in North America. He was in spring. He was in summer. I think he would be similar over in Europe. Now, Europe has a ton of stacked 80 carries, but there's a couple teams that still need a high-level 80 carry. I think he would fit in fine over there. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Now, this is all if things don't go well for Cloud9. But Cloud9 right now has their backs up against the wall. And, we've seen them try to move on from Zven before. I think it could happen again this offseason. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Let me drop a like if you do enjoy it. I'd appreciate it so much. Leave a comment down below. Where do you think Zven is going to play in 2022? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.